The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
So I heard a story from Milo Biederman. He says that there was a Yid who was a landlord. He was in the real estate business in Stamford Hill in England. And he was very careful. He was very matzliach. He was very careful only to take tenants that he checked out before to make sure that they could pay and they would pay. He checked them out very carefully. Okay, that's good during times when it's hard to find an apartment. But what happens when it's easy to find an apartment? It's hard to find tenants. So there was such a mice 20 years ago. And he was a little less exacting, a little less disciplined. And he took in a tenant, and the tenant didn't pay him. And it went on and on for a few months. I once was in that situation. I very misguidedly bought a multiple dwelling with a few shutfim. You know, like the thing. I discovered very, very quickly what can go wrong. Boy, can it go wrong. In our case, we had the guy there for 14 months. It took us 14 months to get rid of him. And the judge wouldn't award us a penny. It was terrible. He took us to court. It was mamish kafel. It was so bad that we sighed a sigh of relief that when he left the apartment, despite the fact that he wrecked every wall in the apartment, it was still a relief to have him go. That's how bad he was. It was terrible. It was terrible. So he had such a maisa. The guy didn't pay him for a very, very long time. So, of course, he took him to court. He's very worried because the court system in England, like in New York, is very, very pro-tenant. Very pro-tenant. So he takes him to court, and he gets up. The judge asked the tenant, "Why didn't you pay?" So the tenant says, "I didn't pay because the electricity was bad, and he wouldn't fix it. And the water service was bad, he wouldn't fix it. And it was cold in the winter, and he wouldn't do anything about it. It was hot in the summer, and anything about it. The guy was terrible, terrible, terrible." So the truth is, it was all lies. It was all lies. But the guy didn't have any way to prove it. When you fix something, you could show a bill. There was nothing to fix. Everything was fine. Like the guy was mamish. It was a lie made out of whole cloth. So he couldn't know what to say. So he's very nervous. At which point the judge turns to the guy. He says, tell me, when you first moved in the first month, did you pay rent? He said, no. He says, then pay up every penny. Because by the first month, you didn't know about the problems yet. And you didn't pay then? That means... So he says, that's mamashas. So Kadosh Baruch Hu knows we're going to take on Kabbalahs, and we want to be better, and we can be better. Did we make the smallest effort to be a little better? Did we try once? You say, you know what? I'm going to try, and I'm not going to succeed. Even if you try once, then you come before Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh Baruch Hu said, at least he tried once. That means he was sincere, and he wanted to do it, and for that itself he gets schar.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org